Hello, everyone. I'm Shelly Dressel, and I channel the Universal Light Beings. And today is a mini channel, meaning it's just a short little one with just Brysentia, and I think maybe Albayon will be in here. I do these just periodically. This one is going to be about CERN and about the eclipse coming up and timelines, things like that. So as we get started, I wanted to show you, I'm not 100% sure I like the virtual background, but today is a beautiful spring day here in Atlanta, and these are the dogwood trees in my yard, and here's right here is the maple tree. And I was going to do this outside in the trees because it's so beautiful. However, it was just a little too cold and I didn't know how long I would end up being, so I brought them in to be with me. So if it looks kind of funky, it's because I have this, and I do not have a green screen behind me. We shall see. Anyway, big day coming up on Monday. Today is the 5th of April, and the 8th of April is when the big eclipse is going to take place. So I just wanted them to talk with us a little bit and see what comes up. Greetings. It is I, Brysentia. I am so very happy to be able to come forth and speak with you at this time. The time you've been waiting for is here. The time is now. Everything is coming together, and it is in the exact right time as it should be. There's so much going on in your social media right now. There is so much going on in the interaction between people. And I want to invite each one of you to take a moment, no matter what it is that you're reading or listening to or following, but take a moment and check in with yourself. Moving forward, it's going to be more and more important that each one of you follows or listens to your own direct intuition. Therefore, with all of the fear and separation that is being pushed out there, check in with yourself. Does this resonate with me? Is this the way that I really think that the world is going to go? Or is this perhaps something that is coming to an end? Because it has been so entrained within humanity, most people think, oh, it's never going to stop. This is not going to end. And this is why it keeps feeding into that negativity. Change is most often challenging for people. People like to be in a pattern in which they feel comfortable. And you are being nudged out of it, whether you want to or not. So think about everyone that is completely unaware of this as they get nudged and nudged and nudged. Their typical response is to react in fear or to react in a way of lashing out and lashing back. So be calm, be patient, and remember that your thoughts, your intention is what is creating this new reality. Okay, let me rephrase that. Your thoughts and your intention is what is supporting what's coming in from the universe, all the work that has been done through humanity on the earth plane. And the more that each one of you can insert something positive or not feed into the negative, you are putting more and more energy into that which is supportive of the whole. Let me speak for a moment about timelines. There have always been multiple timelines in every existence, whether you're down here on the earth plane or you're out in the universe, no matter where it is that you may be residing. There are always multiple timelines because you, as your soul essence, is living multiple existences. As a collective consciousness, that collective consciousness may be aligned with the earth, living this potential outcome, then this one, then this one. This is stuff you already know. What is happening is that everything is coming together and converging. And those which are of a lower frequency, which is not supportive of anyone, is what is going to be merged out, not merged out, that's not the word. It will somewhat merge with the new timeline, but there's a lot of it that will just go by the wayside because it will no longer have energy that feeds it. In part, as I'm saying this, I feel as if this is stuff we've already said before. This is nothing new. But what people really want to understand is why the big deal about April 8th. So you have eclipses. That is nothing new to going on the earth plane. There have always been, throughout your time-space reality, certain eclipses that came in with more impact than others. And this is one of those that's coming in with more impact than others. One of the questions that Shelly had when she said, what's going on here? She had some questions about what was happening. And number one was, there's that rumor going around that NASA is going to shoot missiles into the sun and the moon. Really? Do you really think they can do that? No, they cannot. That is something that was created by a group of people to try to, it had twofold to it. In part, there are a certain number of people that think this is going to be too powerful. This is going to be too big of a change. We don't want that. We want to diminish it. So, let's take down the eclipse if we can. And then as a part of that, they say, okay, we'll shoot missiles into the sun. We'll shoot missiles into the moon. And what does that do? That solidifies for those that are in fear that this is something to be afraid of. But is that really going to happen? No. Because what good would it do? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. There are no missiles that you have on this earth that could get out to the moon and to the sun especially. So that is not going to happen. I would say that goes into that category of fear-based. Okay, what is another one? The timeline, the portal. So then the next thing that is being spoken about is, what is a portal? Aren't there portals all over the place? Indeed, there are. There are portals that are all over your planet, and basically a portal indicates an opening that allows for something to move through it. So the portal that is aligned with this eclipse is something that is basically bigger than your planet, in which there's a focused energy that is coming through this portal as the eclipse, and then it's going to bring energy and transformation and transition into the earth plane itself. So because you are accustomed to thinking of portals as things that are various or associated with a different part of your earth, what's important to know is that when that alignment takes place with the sun and the moon, go this way, with the sun over here and the moon coming up in front of it, and then you're down here on the earth plane looking at that, what that is doing is that is opening up something that is even bigger, that will then allow you to be able to access the higher vibrational frequencies. So for those many people that are either not in that line of the eclipse, that are not going to see it, they're not going to feel it, doesn't matter. Because this is a portal that's bigger than your planet, that is bringing energy into the entire planet. What's going to happen with this is going to activate strands of your DNA, which will then allow you to shift into the higher frequency. It will allow many people that will shift into a higher frequency and have no clue that this is what's going on. You do remember in the past when either I or Albayon have spoken about people that had all that stuff in their unconsciousness that are not looking at any of this ascension information. However, they're going to ascend because they've got all of the energies in their unconsciousness. And it is that unconsciousness that is going to be triggered on Monday with this eclipse. What can you expect to feel? Many people are going to feel nothing. There are many people, those that are super sensitive, especially coming up to the eclipse, you may feel as if you're hyperactive or you're hyper intense, as if no matter what it is that is happening around you, you're feeling it very intensely. There are some people that will feel that their sleep is disturbed. There are other people that are going to consistently think about things that they thought they'd cleared. They thought they'd healed. It was over and done with, but yet here it comes again. So another way of looking at this is that it is a final cleansing or clearing out of anything that you've been carrying around with you in this lifetime. This can be healing your physical body. So many people have cancer, arthritis, chronic illnesses of certain types. So let that go. Look at this as a new beginning, as a new activation of strands of your DNA that support you as a completely whole individual, so that moving forward, you're starting all over again with a clean slate. For many, many people, that's exactly what's going to happen. What can I expect that day with the energy? There's so many people that are stepping into the fear that there's going to be darkness. The darkness is going to stay for a period of time. And it's truly not. It is going to be just a few minutes in which that eclipse, that full eclipse, is taking place. However, that ramification of it is something that will be much longer. You will hear people talking about it. And again and again and again, remind people that this is something positive. This is taking the whole planet to a new level. And what's the foundation of that level? Love. Can you imagine that you start talking to your friends and family and all of those talking about the negative things and, oh, it was terrible that such and such happened, and oh, so-and-so's fighting with someone else, and on and on and on in these methods. And you just say, well, you know what? Now the foundation is love. And if you insert love into that scenario, what does it look like? Consider, if you will, how often an entire planet is able to start a new beginning. There have been times in the past when the earth has gone through cycles, and in which there have been various ascensions similar to what's going on now. The difference is the complete shutting down of those lower frequencies, and it is the support of the entire universe, so that all the planets in your universe, including the earth plane, will then be in a higher vibrational frequency. That complete cycle has not finished as yet. But many of the planets have ascended, and your planet is what's next. And that is why there is this humongous focus about this. What else did I want to say? Be aware that you may find that your dietary habits change. Be aware that on that day, many, many people may have headaches. Be aware they may hear tones or ringing in their ears. And all of these things are what is aligning you to a different frequency. Anything that you can do to ground yourself is going to be helpful. Shelly just had a thought in the back of her mind, hey, maybe I should put out all my crystals. Consider that. Cleanse your crystals, put them outside, and then just see what happens with your crystals. They will absorb all of that energy, and it will be magnificent. So the time of excitement is here. The time of transformation is here. You will not be going back after this. This is the completion of a millions of year cycle. And now you are consciously a part of moving into the new frequency and vibration. Now, another concern that Shelly had was talking about CERN and what's happening with that. So let's have Albayon speak about that. Greetings. Whew. I'm just aligning with Shelly and feeling all these frequencies. So much change is here. So much is happening. I did want to also mention that anytime there is a big transition like this, the portal is open for much longer than just those 4 or 5 minutes. So you are already feeling this transition taking place. It probably started a week before and a week after, and that's going to be the most intense aspect of this transition. However, you can also look back at the lunar eclipse that took place on March 25th, and there's a 2-week interval between March 25th and April 8th. So that time in particular, in which we are right now, is also a good time of releasing and clearing and letting go. So if you hear about this later, if you're someone that hadn't thought about any of these things and now it's May, June, July, and you're saying, something happened, what was it? And you find this video, then know that no matter when it is, you can still tap into this energy and understanding. You are still more deeply connected than ever, or shall we say consciously connected than ever to your soul. All right, let's talk about CERN. CERN and its alignment with HAARP are two of the control and manipulation mechanisms that have been used by the nefarious ones. And that has been taken over many years ago. So the reason that it is being reactivated now, it is only for a very short period of time. There is a potential that in the future, it will be reactivated again, and it will be a part of the quantum physics. It will be a way of helping people to adjust. It will be a way of bringing in energy. But the way that it was used in the past by the nefarious ones was at a time when the vibration of the earth was very low, and or especially low compared to where it is right now. So they didn't have the ability to do a lot of these things that you're going to be able to do, each one of you. And therefore, they built machinery, they built, and they did this in conjunction with the negative ETs. So it was done with some ET technology, it was done with human technology, and it was done with the clear intention of utilizing ways of working with people's cellular structure as a means of controlling and manipulating humanity. That's not going to happen. But do you remember, those of you that listen to us consistently, do you remember how we have said in the past that there was witchcraft that was used, that there was dark magic that was used, that there was threads of, I don't know what the word is that you guys would use. There are threads of spells that were put on people, and that had to be undone. What was that, around the winter solstice, maybe 2 years ago? Since that time, more and more and more has been undone, more and more has been released. But with the turning on of CERN, there are going to be two things that happen. Number one, it will be turned on enough so that they can remove any residual of the lower vibrational frequency. Number two, they can then shift that programming into a higher frequency programming, and it may be used in the future. But it will never again be used as something to control and manipulate humanity, because with this eclipse and with that removal of the residual of the control and manipulation on the earth plane, there will no longer be any energy to feed that. The question was CERN connected to HAARP? Was HAARP connected to CERN? Yes, there was an interrelation with that. So the nefarious ones would use this machine, and it was a machine that would have laser beams that would connect with portals, and it didn't have to even have a direct alignment with them. It could be programmed in, and it would interact with the portal. Say, for example, there was something in a lake that was, CERN is in Switzerland, and there was something in a lake in Canada, and they would put in the coordinates of that. They would send that impulse or that beam, and that portal would open up in that lake in Canada. That's how it was used in the past. And they intended to do that all over the place, and they did use that at one time as a focus for HAARP. HAARP is another mechanism that has been used by the nefarious ones to create weather patterns in certain places that would have a benefit that they wanted. That again is also being shut down. It is currently, so both of these are in the hands of the white hats, and therefore you can just anticipate that it is not going to happen. Nothing is going to happen with it that would be harmful to humanity. This is about the last residual of clearing out of the negative low frequency. Shelly made mention about all of the negativity on the earth plane right now, all of the ways in which people fight with one another. She was just at a movie, and all of the violence in the movie, all the violence in the video games, there's just so much violence. And all of that we see it going two ways. There may be an abrupt change, and most likely what is going to happen is that you will see less and less and less of that. People's brains, and especially certain people, that's the stimulation that they focus on, or that's what's a part of their reality. So it probably is not going to just turn off in an instant, but there will be less and less and less of that, because in a society that is based on love and that is filled with love, you don't hurt one another. But again, I anticipate that that's going to be slower to transition, but hopefully you will see less and less and less of the violence. Well, we've talked for quite a while already, and we know Shelly's trying to find the time, 20 minutes. And we know that this was just supposed to be a short little thing. So thank you very much for listening and being here for both of us. Know that we love you dearly. This is a time of celebration, and this is a time of transition where there is no going back. You are stepping up. You are moving up in the frequency, and you will never go back. Ansaluia. Whew. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. I'm very excited about all of this. I've been doing this kind of stuff for 30 years now. And so I've known about this for a long, long time. And I can't tell you the number of times, oh, is this going to happen? Is this the time? Is this the time? And not that any of those other times weren't stair steps that took us to where we are right now. Everything has been important, and everything has happened exactly as it needs to. But this is it. This is the super exciting time on Earth. So thank you for listening. If you want to follow more of these, please subscribe, follow me. I've got websites. All of that will be in the description. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.